of Wonderful Coin Fun. I'm Chuck Daughtrey. This is Coppercoins, and we are coming to you from the wonderful Coppercoins Studios in Cary, North Carolina. Hope everybody's having a good day. I see we have a number of people watching. I've got 100 names right here. And these 100 names have been carefully selected from those who paid for spots in these two rolls. I've got two 50-cent rolls of 1983 Philadelphia Lincoln cents. As I draw names out of the bag, the next person whose name I select will get the next coin in the roll, and we'll look at it under the microscope and see what it is before I send it to you. And so here we go. Hey, Coin Dragon. I'm going to stick my names in the bag. Mix everybody up real good. Jeff Dunn, I got your email, and I'll be responding to you shortly after this show. Today's kind of reveal day. All right. So we're not going to draw for these wrappers because these are just very common, typical 50-cent wrappers that were used back in the early 80s. And they don't have any bank name on them. They're just original wrapped rolls. They're nothing spectacular. They're not difficult to get open or anything like that. It's just that there's not going to be much worth anything on these. Jeremy, I'll have to take a look at the email when I get done. I don't have any idea right now. Hello, kid did okay. No horse in this race. That's too bad. I would love to be involved in this one. I have no idea what's going on. What we're going to end up finding. I know what we're doing, but I have no idea what we're going to end up finding. Let's get started and see what happens. We've got, hey, Cindelicious, Marshall for the first coin of the roll. Let's see what Marshall gets. This is a fresh 1983 roll of Lincoln cents. What I'm looking for on 1983 is notching in Liberty. I'm looking for any cud or pre-cud material underneath the vest or out on the rim anywhere. I'm looking for notching in the date. And I'm looking for doubling in God We Trust. Of special note would be if it had a lot of die scratches on this side of the field running north and south, kind of like this one, only a little bit more. We may have a double die reverse. Flipping it over to look at the reverse, which is the side that was face out, there's a lot of toning on this one simply because this was the last coin in the roll at the time. We've got die cracks on all four of the corners of the building. We don't have any hub doubling back here, though. We're looking for a major double die reverse and a more minor double die reverse, both of which have value. And so far, so there was nothing here. Hang on a second. I need to get my flips for this one. Okay, I'm back. This is reveal number 38. And this is 38A, the first roll of two. And coin number one, let me get this flipped down just a little. Coin number one goes to Mr. Marshall. Selecting coin number two from the bag. Hey, Mr. Fletcher. Will be Andrew O'Neill. Let me put Mr. Marshall's name in coin number one here. Will be Andrew O'Neill. Let's see what Andrew O'Neill comes up with. Well, there's a spiked head. So a die crack running from the back of the head through the hair all the way up to the rim above the E of we. This year is also known for a couple of different clashes and counterclashes, which would also be fun to find. Just a few spots on this one. That was a nice coin. We have a bit of a die break going on here in the left base. This design is one of the most squirrely Lincoln cent reverse designs there is. There's not a whole lot of detail in it, and the letters are cut very heavily beveled, so they're hard to discern doubling from non-doubling. That's coin number 2 in this roll. And coin number 3. Midnight Silver Run. What's the Midnight Silver Run comes out with? Oh, you have another spiked head coin. And this one. I was looking to see if maybe this could be a Class 6 double die obverse, but it's not. I was looking at that extra thickness in the U of trust, but it's not followable through any of the other lettering. It looks like it's part of a weak strike. That's what happens with the weaker strikes on these. Because see the S and the T there, because they're so weakly struck, they look a little thicker at the bottom. That's actually just a lack of the metal flowing all the way up into the die to completely fill in the letter cavity in the die. These letters are shaped, if you think of it, what a gold bar looks like. You set a gold bar, a regular gold bar, like an ingot bar on a table. It's kind of trapezoidal. The top of it is thinner than the bottom. So if you were to start shaving off the top of a gold bar, shave off the top surface and keep shaving, it'd get thicker and thicker and wider as you go down. Well, that's what happens to Lincoln cent lettering. And the idea is when you have a weaker and weaker strike, they turn out to be wider and wider. So you have to watch for that when you're looking through these. Dana Boyle gets the next one. We do have some spots on these coins. They're not bad spots. They're just they look a little rusty. But of course, rust doesn't form on copper or zinc. So, what we've got out here. This looks like a grease struck through area. It is. Yeah, it's all grease struck through in this particular coin. We're also looking for a lot of extra thickness at the outside edge of the 8 and the bottom of the 3 of the date. There's another relatively nice double die you could find there. But nothing else do I see on the obverse of this coin. Let's see what the reverse looks like. Oh man, I'd just be giddy excited. I'd be probably sitting here giggling if I found the massive double die reverse for half a dozen people in the panel here. This would be awesome. This is one of 2 rolls of 1983 Philadelphia that we're going to be searching this afternoon. Coin number 5 will belong to Bulldog. Bulldog gets coin number 5. Let's see what Bulldog gets. There are a number of different things, different dies to look for. Some of these letters just have that shape. They look like a Class 6 because of the... I'll turn my light up a little bit more. You can see this a little better. Looks like that R may have a notch in it. Let me get in real close, take a better look at this. I'm looking at the bottom right of the R of trust. I'm seeing what looks to me like some extra thickness, maybe a notch. I'll have to take a better look at this one later. I'm going to set it off to the side because this one could be a double die. I'll have to check it against the listings, the present listings out there. I'm kind of leaning toward no, but I'm going to take a better look at it anyway. Hey, Mantic. There we go. I'm sort of just kind of not really thinking so, but it could possibly be. And then there's a lot of swirly die scratches under the in God, so I'll know what I'm looking for next time I pick one of these up. I'm looking at the outer edge, especially of that last T in trust. It's convex. And typically you're not going to find that sort of convexity unless you've got Class 6 distended hub doubling. And you've also got it on that T, and you've got it here pretty bad on the E of we. So it looks to me like we could have a minor Class 6 double die here. You can see it there on the Eye of Liberty. Pretty strong for the convexity anyhow, but not for thickness. I'll just set this off to the side and take a better look at it later. This one belongs to Bulldog. You know, I've done this before. I shouldn't do it. Set a coin off to the side before I look at the other side of it. So I could be looking at nothing on one side and missing a massive double die on the other side. I have been guilty of that in the past. Okay, nothing on that side. So this is going to be coin number 5, and I'm going to stick it to the side for Bulldog just to see. So far, we're looking pretty promising. I don't know. We've only been through 5 coins. Hang on. I have to become a numismatist. There we go. I get some of this other stuff out of the way. You know, all the 09S, VDBs, and all that other stuff. I got to get like stuff out of the way while I'm doing my job here. All right. Coin number 6 will belong to... Coin number 6, coin number 6, coin number 6. Jim Worley. James Worley. Okay, see this ridge line right here? This ridge line running through In God? This is die wear. This is very common for the earlier zinc cents. See how the shape of everything in and around it just changes, and you get this little shadow doubling effect like there on the eye. Right there. You can see what it looks like, maybe a second eye or something off to the left of the eye. Well, the reason for that is because the die wore strangely with the earlier zinc cents. This is one of those cases. It is very common. You can see it quite often. Hey, Paul, can't stay away from the computer, can you? Let's see what's on the reverse. Oh, nice. There's a clash mark right there at the top of the head, going through the N-E and the C of cent. Let's see if it continues on over. You get just a little bit of the beard line. I don't see any of the letters of Liberty over here, but I do see the back of the coat. Back of the coat right there in bay number 3. There's another part of the back of the coat right there. Nothing else special on this coin, but it does have a pretty decent looking clash on it. Let me see if I can get a light exposure clash. There is. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of this. I just want you guys to see this, and there's no way to show you under the cameras I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cell phone picture of it, because I will be able to get it in the lighting that I have on my cell phone here. But there is a nice clash on this coin. It's just not going to be highly visible the way you guys are looking at it. So let me bring up my camera. And then I can show it to you using my phone. Can you see that? You see those bays out in front of his mouth? That's part of a die clash. You can see the bays of the memorial building. You can see it here in the RTY, and you can see the base of the building. A little bit darker looking. You can see it pretty well. If you're just looking at the coin, like from a distance or whatnot, you can see it really well. So it is a decent clash. It just doesn't show up real well in most kinds of lighting. I'll show you a different picture. See that? So you can see that pretty well. It's a jailhouse die clash. And it shows up pretty nicely. You're not going to be able to see it under my scope, which is why I had to take a cell picture of it. But that's cool. That's going to belong to James Worley. You know what? We need to take a look at the reverse on this one, because there is some chance it could be a double die reverse. So don't want to skip it. You got to look. Never know what you might find. We may have already taken a look. We did take a look at the reverse in this one, because that's where I noticed where the coat, there's part of the bottom of the coat coming out of the eave. And see how it traces back all the way back to the inside the memorial right there? Where I noticed this first was, you can see the top of his head going all the way through one and part of cent. So, and then here's his forehead right here. That's his forehead. And then down here you can see a part of the beard. Not much of it, but you can see a part of the beard. Over here's where the date would be. I've actually seen clashes strong enough to show a date. Value for the clash? Oh, something like this in this condition would probably sell for $3 to $5. If it was in a lot better condition and had much stronger clash lines, it would be worth more. So that's coin number 6. Let's draw for coin number 7. See what happens. Ken. Oh, hey, Ken. Use a disco ball. Every kind of lighting. Awesome. I'd love to have a PV pointer, actually. That would be nice to have. Get me a good PV pointer. Okay, here's another one of those that has the curvature, the tops of the letters, that makes it look like it's going to end up being some sort of hub doubling. And it's also got the swirly die scratches, so it is the same die. There's a lot of little spots on these coins. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It was an original roll, so I had no idea what we were running into. Let me try to get the lighting down just a little bit on this so it's a little easier to see the details. Okay, I'm not seeing any hub doubling on this side. No clash marks. You're working on custom PV pointers? You let me know, brother. I'm going to be the first one. I want to be first in line. I want serial number 1. Well, of course, you can have serial number 1. I'll take serial number 2. I know how that works. All right. Mr. Adams. What do we have for Robert Adams? Well, nothing yet. We've got Dieware. That's Dieware. Looking for cuds, clashes, double dies, counter clashes, brockage, counter brockage, indent brockages, anything that we can find that'll tell us, hey, you've got a valuable coin. Not seeing anything on this one. So Robert Adams gets himself a normal coin. You know, they appear to have a lot of spots on them. Some of them do. But some of them are actually pretty nice. None of these are solid gem coins, though, unfortunately. I would prefer to have a roll full of solid gems, but then again, everyone else would too. But at least these things aren't black spotted. There's a lot of rolls I've opened that are just absolutely black spotted, just nasty on the inside. These aren't quite so bad. Chris Vines. Ooh, we got a little fatness to the bottom of the 3 there. Does that continue on to become something else? This is it another one of that same die? No, it isn't. This is a different die, and it appears to have the same issue. Huh. That's unusual. But this one's got a lot of those raised bumps, all those little raised bumps, they all come from contaminants on the zinc core before it was plated with copper. And then those contaminants started expanding in gas form underneath that copper plating. And it formed bubbles, little tiny bubbles under the copper. And so we call these little tiny gas bubbles, or another thing that we call it because of its appearance, it looks like the bumpiness of an orange peel. And these are, these are all little tiny blisters. No luck so far, Steve. We're working it, though. We're pounding that pavement, trying to find something good. Still nothing on this roll, though. We do have one die clash, one pretty nice looking die clash. Shows some clash marks on the reverse, and then when you get it under the right light on the obverse, you can see that's an interesting die crack right there. Running north out of the building through the T of states. I don't see it running to the rim, but it's still pretty nice. It's pretty. Now see, I have a little hidden language that I use. If I call it pretty, then that means, yeah, that's neat looking. It's not going to do anything for you as far as sellable value or whatnot is considered, but it's a nice coin. Now, if I call it cute, then that means you've got a nice coin that has some value. So that's cute. Well, and if I call it ugly, you just have an ugly coin. Hawkeye. Hawkeye gets the next coin in the roll. We're up to coin number 10. We've had a lot of die cracks in the hair. Seems that almost, I'd say half the coins we've seen have cracks in the hair. I don't see anything else there on that one. Let's see what we got on the other side. Not seeing anything over here. Coppercoin shirts, folks. Here's the gig with the shirts. If you guys go to any of the bigger shows, and I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to a show. I'm not going to tell you specifically when I'm going to show up at a show, but I will be at the Fun Show in January. And I'm going to be carrying goodies in my pocket. And those goodies I'm carrying around with me are just for people who are wearing Coppercoin shirts. You'll get freebies just for wearing Coppercoin shirts to the show. Ooh, this one's another one of those die clashes. I can see it already. Let's see if we can see it by turning it under the light. You just don't see it this way. It's so strange that I can see this die clash easily with my naked eye, but under this scope it simply doesn't show at all. Let me show you what I saw. I want to. This is just cool, so I just have to show you. Sizes available, anything from small to 4XL. I believe we carry up to 4XL. I'm going to show you what I saw as soon as I pop this under the light. So I started to slip this under the scope, and this is what I was looking at. That's what it looked like when I started to slip it under the scope. Come on, focus. Maybe it's just not going to focus that close up. But you can see what I'm talking about. You can definitely see this clash. You just can't see it under the microscope. Weirdo. But there's a few of those in this roll. We run into 2 of them now, so far. And this one's going to show that clash of the head running through 1 and cent. You're going to have the back of the vest right here, the back of the coat right there. And you're going to have the forehead right there. That's the forehead. So this is definitely the same die as the other die clash that we ran into before. And just like the other one, we have this patch of die damage created by the feeder finger. This is actually feeder finger damage right here on the die. Interesting little corner die crash, crack. There's another interesting corner die crack. And only got 2 corners of die cracks up there. That's interesting. All around interesting. But this is an interesting, nice little clash. I don't remember who got the last one, but Robert Adams gets this one. I think Robert Adams got the last one too. Robert, share. You need to learn to share, mister. Let's see. Which coin was that? Oh, there it is. Oh, that was James Worley. Jim Worley. So Robert Adams gets this one. So, okay, you're sharing. It's okay. Next. Did I get a die clack? Brady! Andrew O'Neill gets the next coin. Well, there are spots on these coins. I don't like the spots. Don't like spots. It's not fun when you get spots. This is another one of those that appears that it could be class 6. But I don't have the same die scratches I had with the other one. Which is only slightly disturbing in the sense that if you're getting more than one die that shows the same thing that appears to be an anomaly, it's probably not an anomaly. It's what we tell everybody, us folks who've been doing this for a while, that you so endearingly tend to call experts. The only reason we are experts is because we're very patient. We've looked through a number of coins. And after you're really patient and look through a whole lot of coins, you'll very easily catch on to what we're saying when we tell you, if you look through a few hundred coins of the same date, same mint mark, and you're seeing the same thing over and over again, you probably have nothing special. Just the way it tends to work out. Hey, Midnight. Andrew O'Neill. We've been picking your coins, brother. How clashes are created? Yeah, clashes are created when lucky coin number 13 belongs to Bulldog. Bulldog gets lucky coin number 13. Let me take a quick look at it. This is another one of those that has curves on the outer edges of everything, so it looks like another Class 6. This one could actually be a Class 6. Look how thick that RUS is. So, the very simple to this is that dies have a negative relief design in them. There's an obverse die and a reverse die for every coin struck. And coins are struck between the dies with thousands of pounds of force. A lot of force comes down on this blank metal planchet that we call it, and minced the design into the planchet and creates a coin. Well, when these dies come together, they are imparting that design onto the planchet to create what we know as the coin. When the dies come together without a planchet between them, they tend to transfer the design to one another instead of to the planchet that was supposed to be between them. Well, when they do a design transfer to one another and then they go to mint other coins, prior to you wiping that transfer off with emery board or steel wool or whatever it is they're cleaning the dies with that day, you end up with the obverse design on the reverse and the reverse design on the obverse. And that's what a die clash is. They clash together. Clash, crack. Boom. Pull away. Stick a planchet between it. Then your next coin has that design transfer on it. That's why I looked in the first place for the jailhouse clash that I didn't see under the scope. It's because the reverse had so many clash marks on it that I figured the obverse probably had to have a clash too. And, well, it did. All right, Robert Adams gets a relatively normal coin out of there. Come on, people. I'm hoping for double dies here. This is what I really want to get. Let's get after it. Rich H. Rich H will get the next coin. Oh, spot. Snap. I hate spots. Well, it was good until we opened it. It's a perfectly wonderful roll until we opened it. Let's see what we get with the other side here. Double die reverse number 2 is a lot less pronounced than DDR number 1. And you actually have to kind of give a pretty close look for it. I've seen a few of them, and they show up pretty well in United. But in most of the rest of the reverse, they don't show up so well. So they're a little hard to find. I've never found one of them in a roll. I've never found DDR number 1 in a roll, for that matter. I've actually sold... Let's see, I've sold 2 of them in rolls that I didn't know were in there. And then I swapped a guy, when I lived in Missouri, I swapped a guy in South Florida, actually West Palm Beach, where I just moved from. I swapped him a box of pennies from my bank for a box of pennies from his bank, because I was getting mostly D-mint stuff, and I wanted to trade for his mostly P-mint stuff. So we did. He found an 83 double die reverse. I found nothing. Here's another one of those with the swirlies under the N. And so it's got a little bit of extra thickness, and it looks like a notch on the bottom of the R that I'll have to take a better look at through my other microscope. This is a second coin of this particular die that I think we've seen so far. But of course I will be looking at every coin in the roll again, because this microscope doesn't tend to pick up all the small details that I can see with my other microscope. And I for sure like to see all the details before I turn the coins over to you, especially if I've said it's a normal coin. Wouldn't want you spending or putting in your book a normal coin that's actually a nice double die that I missed. I'll stick this one. That's for Mr. McBride. I'm going to stick this one over here with the other one that I've got that's just like it. I can try to bundle those together the best I can. All right, Sing J. Sing J gets the next coin in the roll. Is it another clash? No, not a clash. Actually, kind of a spotty coin. I thought it was a clash because of the spots I was seeing. Yeah, excuse me. Not the best in the world. Gosh, I wish these were better. We're having an O for day. We're O for as many rolls as we've looked through. Not a wonderful day. Next coin, Joe McBride. I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a little double die treasure trove. And it turns out to be, probably not. I'm still really curious to find out exactly what's up with these. Is this another one with the swirlies? Let's see here. Nope, no swirlies. This is a different die. Okay, so for this one, we have a really heavy die scratch running north out of the L of Liberty. We can remember that. We've got the swirlies under N for one die, and we've got the stick coming out of the L for another die. And we could take a good close look at another coin from this die if we would like, but I think that R has a little notch down in the bottom right corner, and this T definitely has a curved upper top. Is that on the coin or in the coin? I'm pretty sure that's in the coin. That looks like a struck through. Let me take a little Q-tip wipe to it real quick and it will come off of there. That is in the coin right there. That is a struck through. Struck through fiber of some sort. That's kind of cool. Minor error, but it's still nice. It's a good little... Yeah, struck through a bristle of some sort. That's kind of cool, actually. Kind of glows when you get in the light just right. That's a nice one. That's Joe McBride's. Let's flip it over and see what's on the other side. Make sure we're not skipping over a double die for a bristle struck through. Focus. Make sure you look for everything. Don't mess yourself up and skip something big because you found something small. There we go. You're very welcome, Mr. McBride. This is your coin. Let's see what comes up next. This will be coin number 19. Coin number 19 belongs to Rich H. Rich Sir, this coin is for you. Yep. Little stain down there. Okay, nothing going on here. Let's take a look at the reverse. Yeah, so double die obverse number 1 is a nifty class 1 double die obverse that shows in the entire motto. I got a story about that die. The very first one of those I ever found. I was on the road with my son's mother and her mother. And we had rented a Buick Skylark to drive from Springfield across to North Carolina, to Charlotte, North Carolina, to pick up a friend's car because my wife at the time was buying that car, Paul Hampton. So we took a rental car over there to buy the car and drive our car back. It was a 1998 Ford Escort wagon. Nothing special, but it was cheap and it was ours to keep. Well, we got across the mountains into the valleys and got into Charlotte, got the car, did our thing, and, well, I lived in Missouri at the time, and you know when you live in Missouri, your pocket change in North Carolina is going to be different than the pocket change in Missouri. So I had the friend of the family, who was the one selling us the car, take me to her bank so I could buy a box of pennies. And I did. Bought a box of pennies. The ride home, I had done my shift of driving, and my wife was driving, and I was in the back seat. It was middle of the day. I had my loop. I had my box of coins. So I opened up a roll of coins, and there's a 1983 in there. Not the best condition, but it was a nice 83. So I look at it, and lo and behold, I had a beautiful double die obverse sitting in front of me. I thought that was just really cool, but I still remember my son was 2 years old then. 2 or 3 years old. There's a nice little clash mark. Did I miss one of the... No. This is just different. So clash mark sticking straight out from the front of the vest. It doesn't continue on the other side, though. It's been polished out. Do you see how thin the Y is right there? That's because you're removing the design from the bottom up. And because the letters have this bevel shape to them, if you remove it from the bottom up on a beveled shape, it's thinner and thinner and thinner as you get up to the top. So that's why this Y is so much thinner than one would normally be. Because they've scratched the heck out of this die. Look at this. This thing looks like someone took a wire brush to it, which is exactly what that is, probably. But they were doing it to remove this clash. It was a heavy clash, and this mark is the only thing left of it. Are you a coin roll hunter driver? I tell you what, brother. You show up at my house if I need to go someplace, and if I can bring a few rolls of coins with me, I'll sit and chit-chat with you through the whole drive if I don't have to drive. It's not that I mind driving. I just get really bored with it. Especially if it's a place I've been before. If it's a highway I've been on before, very little interest. Very little. I don't mind driving through snow. That's the only time it's not boring. But driving across Florida and stuff like that, oh, man, it's just painful driving across Florida unless I'm doing something specific. Ray Longy, this coin's for you. Some relatively well-worn dies going on here. It's kind of hoping for a little better than what we ended up with, but it is what it is. I mean, we're going to get what we're going to get. My promise is fulfilled. This is an original bank-wrapped roll of 1983 Lincoln cents. That's as far as I can go promising things. I have no idea what else is in here. Okay, and nothing on that coin. So it looks like we're running into what could be a double die obverse, a minor double die obverse, and we're running into clash marks that are actually kind of cool looking. Other than that, we're running into a roll of uncirculated coins on which there are a number of spots. Ray Longy gets the next coin as well. Wait. Nope, not a clash. Cleaner looking coin, though. This I've seen more than once now. This is the second time I've seen this. This is actually die damage. It looked like it could have been plating blistering there for a bit, but when you're seeing it over and over again, you've definitely got die damage. See how much sharper this is than the little plating blisters that you see around it? There's your first clue right there that this is in the die and not in the plating on the planchet. It's really sharp looking. I'm pretty sure this is rust on the die. which that's interesting. Yep. There's a little bit of split plating right there on the L. A lot of people mistake this for some form of doubling. Actually, what that is the coin was struck with such force it split the copper plating open, exposing the zinc underneath. A Lincoln cent is completely and totally plated in 100% copper. Though when you weigh everything out at the end, only 2.7% of the entire composition of the Lincoln cent is actually copper. The rest of it's all zinc. So that layer of copper on there is actually really thin. Really, really thin. Let's take a look at the other side. An interesting little die scratch running off the top of the memorial base. That's kind of cool. Not seeing any of the things of special note on this coin that we have seen on some of the others, so I'll move on to the next coin. Mr. Longy gets coin number 23. Coin number 24 will be Joe McBride. Here we go, Joe. That rhymed, and I didn't even mean for it to. I'm such a hayseed. Sometimes I get so enthralled by the smallest, littlest things. Here we go, Joe. Give me a ride, Mr. McBride. Got nothing. .06 grams of copper per coin. And it's the entire surface of the coin. It's kind of like if you take your epidermis, which is the very outside layer of your skin, and you weigh just your epidermis, probably no more than about 10 pounds. But it's the only part of your body other people see. All the weight and everything's in the bones and muscles and everything underneath. And the fat, in my case. Rich H. Oof, this one's spotty. I'm sorry, folks. We ended up with a little bit of a haggardly looking roll here. Got some interesting coins, though. A few. Of course, I guess the more you weigh, the more your epidermis is going to weigh, because if you weigh 500 pounds, you're going to have a pretty big epidermis. But in coins, they don't gain and lose weight. Coins are all minted basically the same material all the way across. Boy, this one is just spotty. I do apologize for this one, Rich. This one's kind of ugly. Uglycoins.com. I wonder if anybody owns that. Joe McBride. Ken's out there searching right now. Uglycoins.com. You buy it, we'll share it. Hey, look at that. That's kind of cool. We have a nice little spiked head going on there. My epidermis is showing. I should say that to somebody sometime. See what kind of a stupid look I get. Your epidermis is showing. Oh, really? Where? What? This has got a bunch of interesting looking little die scratches and stuff on it. What I noticed about this one is that it's relatively spot free. There's like a pretty clean looking coin. But we got nothing on it though. That's coin number 26 for Joe McBride. Number 27. The epidermis trick. Are you serious? Same trick your epidermis is showing? Joe McBride again. What are you doing? Hogging the entire roll? Mr. McBride. Uh-oh, my dog has a new toy. I can hear it squeaking all the way up here. This one, can you hear that? Hear the squeaking all the way through the house? Yeah, this is one of those ones with the line running up from the L of Liberty. So this is another one that I'm thinking could be a minor class 6 double die obverse. And where I'm seeing what appears to be the class 6 is that the right corner of the R is not clean, and the T has a convex outer shape, as does the E of we. And the 3 has a little bubble on the bottom of it. All these things are indicative of a slight double die. We'll have to see if it's listed. If it's not listed, I probably won't go any further with it, because it's not. It's really just not enough to add much market value to the coin. But if it is, I will attribute it to a die that already exists. Coins are getting cleaner as we're going through the roll. I mean, these last 2 coins have not had much in the way of spots at all. So that's just because I'm in the center of the roll. As I head back to the outside of the roll on the other side, they'll probably get icky again. You hear my wife giggling? Oops, I got to get Mr. McBride's name in here. There we go. Now, this one belongs to Andrew O'Neill, who was present here just a few minutes ago. Got 41 people watching this, and we got 29 likes. We have a spotty coin, unfortunately. With 29 likes, that's telling me, got 42 people watching, 29 likes. That's telling me there's 12 of you that don't like this. I'd like to know why. Or you could hit like for me. Give me a like. Hey, look, this has got that rusty die problem. I really don't know what this is, but now you can tell for sure because you've seen it at least twice. The exact same problem on 2 different coins. So this is on the die. It's a rusty die. That's not my wife giggling right there. That's my dog squeaking a toy. We have a household full of laughter and full of noise. And if you don't like it, you can tune into some boring guy. Oh, wait a minute, I am a boring guy. It's my house. I'll take it. I'd rather have that than people crying or something. Coin number 29. Coin number 29 will go to Hawkeye. Hawkeye gets coin number 29 in this roll. Interesting little die scratch right there. Not sure that I've seen that before, which means there's some chance that I've not seen this die before. Ooh, we got a little active spot right behind the head there. That little whitish, greeny looking crusty crud is actually growing. It will become a black spot on the coin. Can take a little Xylol and wipe it off, but if it is encrusted onto the surface of the coin, there's not much you can do about it. It's just going to happen. That's why getting high grade 1983, 84, 85, 86 Lincoln cents is a very important thing. Because if you can get the really nice high grade coins right now, you'll be one of very few people hanging on to them in 75 years when almost the entire population of coins minted will be nothing but a bunch of dust and memories. I said memories, not memories. Coin number 29 is now come and gone for Hawkeye. We haven't run into another one of those clashes lately. Thank you for the memories. Marshall. I wouldn't try to sing. Chase everybody away. I'm not here to chase you away. I'm here to gain your interest as a collector in what I like to do. This is it. This is it, boys. This is war. Who can tell me what words or what song those words came from? This is it, boys. This is war. Can anyone tell me? Anyone? Anyone? Ooh, that's an interesting little set of die cracks running from the steps all the way across into the base, around the base, and through to the rim. You're right, Coin Dragon. You're just as weird as I am. The war machine springs to life, opens up one eager eye. Did you know that Nina and her band were from Berlin? They did not speak English well. The song in English is not the same words as it is in German. And that a red balloon is something that the Germans would release into the air for their fallen comrades and their fallen family. So you release 99 red balloons into the air, and you're showing grief for those you have lost at war. So that song's about. You can music. There you go. All right then, Coin Dragon. You're so good. Tell me the name of the group. Now, don't search this. You should know this in your head. The name of the group who did the song Pass the Dutchie. What's the name of the group who did that song? Pass the Dutchie. Why, thank you, Jason Patton. I appreciate that very much. I'm glad that my going through rolls of coins and showing you guys what I look for is helping you. That's not Menudo. It's not Ozzy Osbourne. Pass the Dutchie. What are you What will you do when you got no food? Pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side. Pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side. You know the song barely. There's another one of those with that Clash on it. It's the Clash that shows, and you're going to have a thin Y. Yep, same die. Not Milli Vanilli. It's before Milli Vanilli. This came, it was in the MTV days. 1983. The name of the group, they only did one song that ever made it to the charts, and it was that one, Pass the Dutchie. And the name of the group was Musical Youth. They were a Jamaican group of kids. That was one of their songs. Inside the ear is wiped out. A lack of wax or a lack of... Oh, it is, isn't it? How about that? That's because that little cavity, that little dip in the ear, is actually a hump on the die, because you got exactly the opposite. And so when they were running over it with their sandpaper, well, they ended up hitting that little hump. And that's why they didn't hit the ear around it, but only the hole in the middle and the temple area out in front of the ear. Yeah, this unfortunately is just a rather typical 1983 Lincoln Cent. They had horrible quality control, which is part of the reason why they came out with so many double dies and why we want to look through this roll. Musical Youth. Said something, I don't remember, about the nation and their generation. What are you gonna do? So yeah, I have spent countless months sitting in this office doing programming work, doing graphic work, working with inventory, getting auctions ready, listening to iHeartRadio and the Casey Kasem American Top 40 Classic channel. I've listened to every show that they broadcast at least 4 times. I don't know what their current schedule is like, but a few years ago they would do a show from the 70s, and then they'd do a show from the 80s, and then they go back to the 70s, and then back to the 80s and back and forth. Who can tell me what year Casey Kasem started broadcasting the American Top 40? What year? And for extra credit, what month? Rich H gets the next coin. Is this? No, it's not. I thought it was one of our die clashes, but it's not. What year and month did... I'm going to put something on the line for this one. If you can answer me just in another couple of seconds. There's a 1944 Lincoln cent that I'll send to you. What year and month did Casey Kasem start broadcasting the American Top 40? Damn, Jim Fletcher's good. You got it, brother. June 1970 was his first show. No, it was. I think it was June 20-something, whatever Sunday is. Was his first show. And it's also the only show where not all of the hours of the show there was a surviving recording. What they ended up doing, and I don't know how they did it, was they digitally remastered the show so that the third hour of the show would exist again, because it had been lost for good. What are you gonna do? All right, let's see. Who gets this? Jim Fletcher. I just pulled this off a stack. I have no idea why I even have it there. Let's take a look. This is Jim Fletcher's coin now. It's a nice 1944. Nice BU coin. Is this a... Yeah, it's a double die. Little minor class 6 double die obverse there. You have that extra thickness in the lower part of the 9. "10 years. Heck, this is before my parents' existence." What you got, buddy? Come here, Sherm. What is that? What is... You got a Santa. Come here, buddy. Hey, look. Shermie's got a Santa. Come here, buddy. Come here. Shermie's got a Santa. Okay, I'll take it. Hi, buddy. Who is that? Who is that? Oh. What am I wearing? I'm wearing pants on top of my head. I'll take it.
It's from Lewis.
It is? Mm-hmm. I'll wear my pants on top of my head. Why not? Okay, Greg McCoy's going to get the next coin in this roll. Fletcher, this is going to be yours, brother, for answering that question right. All right. Zizzle. Says Zizzle. There we go. For Mr. McCoy. I almost like this better than my Santa Claus hat because it's not as hot. Man, that other hat, that thing's hard to wear. It's hot. And I'm not talking about sexy hot. I'm talking about Schveddy hot. All right. Let's move on to the next coin in the roll here. Where are we? 504. We've been on this an hour now. In 2 hours, I turn into a pumpkin, so I've got to speed up a little bit. Thank you, Coin Junkie. You got one more package coming from me, but you may not get it before Christmas because you live in Canada. This one's actually a pretty nice coin. Not nearly as many spots on this one as there have been in other parts of the roll. Oh, we got no cuds. No cuds, no big cracks, no real issues to stop and take ponder of. I guess this hat wasn't supposed to be for my head. I don't know. I'll take it. I guess we're talking to the people in Florida who sent the hat to me. Are those feet? They are. So I've got Santa. Let's see. There we go. That's better. That's much better. Paul Hampton, next coin in the roll. Tell him to find me on YouTube. I think I actually like this hat better. No, I'm not naked. My wife is going to a Christmas party with Angie, her friend who lives here with us. It's for the place where Angie works. And so they're getting themselves together to go. And I'll be here. I'll be here. Levels of madness. Levels of madness. Nope. Nothing there. Let's see about this side. Wow, look at that die crack. That's an interesting die crack. I like that. It's fun. Fun stuff. Yeah, the retouching on the date is what they're talking about basically is that extra little stuff on the outside edge of the fours of the date. It's all this stuff. Right there on the edge of the four, and then the bottom part of the four where it looks like there's notching and doubling in the lower serifs of the four. That's what they're talking about with the retouching on the date. This is pretty common to 1944 Lincolns. It's this part that's the double die. You got that extra thickness in the 9 right there. And I didn't really check to see, but you probably got extra thickness in other parts of the design too. Yeah, just a little bit of that taffy pull look to the outside edge of the LIB. You'll have it on the E of we as well. Yeah. And the T's in trust. That's what that is. All right, coin number 39 in this roll. Jewish redneck preppers, howdy. Wild Bill. I'm just not sure what to think of your name. Jewish redneck preppers. I wish I had the background on that. That's one of those names that you don't find a lot of people trying to use. I thought about doing one of those, like a name that a lot of people... I mean, I could imagine a variety store called the Lazy Gecko or something like that. But how many copper Lincoln cent stores would you know of named the Lazy Gecko? I mean, what's that got to do with coins? I guess that's the whole thing, is that you don't want it to have to do with anything because, well, then that's easy to brand. Let's have a Lazy Gecko day. This one was Wild Bill. Should I rename my website the Lazy Gecko? Because I've always wanted that. I either wanted Lazy Gecko or I wanted the pink and purple spotted gecko. Mr. Fletcher. What does Mr. Fletcher get? Dun, dun, dun. Nothing there. Save 30% on your coin hunting needs at the pink and purple spotted gecko. I don't know. Does that sound right? The pink and purple spotted lazy gecko. There we go. Pink and purple spotted lazy gecko. Pink striped purple spotted lazy gecko. Huh? I guess it's better than being known as the coin crook. Let's see. Nope. Oh. Snap. Got a tapeworm on this coin. Nice struck through going on here. Nice struck through. Oh, this is making my head itch. Nice struck through. Looks like it's either a rim burr or a piece of... See, look at this. You got this little split in the rim down there that may have something to do with it. Nothing else I should go around, but that's interesting. Let me take a look at it with my loupe real quick just so I can get a good 3D view of it. Looks like something that disturbed the... It disturbed the plating to the extent that it appears that it may have been a part of the strike. I'm pretty sure it's a struck through. And there's some grease right there for you. And that's grease causing that issue. That's what else we have on this coin. That's kind of cool right there. That is mint caused right there. Oh, and you see all this flatness right around here in this area? And you often see it in of or the states of. And you see all those little parallel lines running right through there in that area of weakness. That's relatively common for early zinc cents. And the reason that's there is because just opposite this is one of the largest, thickest parts of the design, the highest relief parts of the design on the obverse. And if you don't get a good, complete strike... These letters don't strike up completely, and if they don't strike up completely, you end up with basically what's shadows of letters, and that's about what you've got here. If I turn this just right in the light, the bottoms of those letters will just disappear. Yep, the shoulder sucked up all the metal for that particular strike because it just wasn't strong enough. Takes 39,000 pounds of force to strike a penny. Not 37, not 42, 39. This is what happens when you use like 35. Just not enough. And that is what causes that. Have a slightly weak strike. The design on the other side doesn't allow that side's design to be struck up all the way because you're not striking all the way through. It's kind of like not swinging a golf club all the way. You just don't hit the ball right and it doesn't go very far. That dog's running around the house with that Santa in his mouth. Is making Mama giggle. What's up, buddy? All right, Mama, so we've been talking. We need to go to the mall after a while.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to be wearing this hat.
Oh, nice.
That's right.
Yeah.
You put it on my head, I'm going to embarrass you with it. Thinking about pulling my trousers halfway down just to show my underdrawers, too. All right. Let's see who gets the next one. Coin number 43 in this roll will belong to Mr. Worley. There's more of that grease issue. A lot of swirlies on the face. Somebody took a little rotary brush and pressed it up against the die to polish it. That's what caused that. Let's see here. Kind of a non-happening reverse there. I'm going to look real quick. Make sure I don't miss any more of those clashes. Make sure I know which coins have them because you can't see it under the scope over there. Wow, okay. Oh, Mr. Worley's coin. There we go. Next will be Rudy Alfaro. Rudy. There's another spiked head. This is a different one because the last one, didn't it run through the E? And this one goes in between the E and the T. We're such a dysfunctional family. There is nothing even remotely close to normal going on here. I'm trying to ignore all of it, but that's just impossible. And she hasn't been smoking or drinking anything. Coin number 45 out of this roll. Rudy Alfaro again. Yep. Time Traveler says he was just starting to feel normal thanks to us. The things we do. I guess my dog left. Well, only a part of my abnormalness is because of coins. The rest of it's total family dysfunction. The most dysfunctional family I know of. And there's not even any kids. It's just us adults and the dog. Andrew O'Neill. Fat bottom. Slightly fat bottom 3. We don't have any of the markers that are showing up on the other dies that I thought, could be doubled. But this looks like it could match up with that. It's a little struck through going on right there too. That's a hit. That's a hit. Let's flip it over and see what we have on the other side. Let's see here. Nice little die crack. Lots of die cracks on these. That's pretty normal for 1983, though. For some reason, from 82 through about 86, the overall quality of the dies and how they work the dies and how they polish them and whatnot was just horrible. I think the mint workers went on vacation and hired the street sweeper as a temp. Because they can just be horrible. Dana. We have Dana. We have Dana, a spotty coin. Ugh. I don't like spots on my coins, y'all. That's an interesting line running right through the middle of the head. Goes on up to the rim. I'm having to guess that has something to do with some form of damage to the coin. See you later, Time Traveler Coin Exchange. Oh my gosh. This looks contagious. I hope it's not catching. Sorry, Dana. You win. Ugliest coin of the roll. God, we have choices here. I haven't opened the other roll yet, and we don't have to. I could just go through and refund spots, but you never know. These rolls could actually be different. Took you 3 hours to attribute 1 RPM. See? That's why I don't like doing it. I give them all to Jessica. You could have sent her a picture, and she could have told you in like 30 seconds. But I'm glad you got it attributed nonetheless. That's an accomplishment, my friend. Well, it's for Paul Hampton. Nothing special going on there. Coin number 49. Coin number 49 will belong to Bulldog. What are we getting for you, Marine? Ooh, spots. We we've got some spots. Nothing going on there. I'll tell you what I'm thinking about doing. I've got some other rolls of 1983s somewhere around here. I'd like to go find another roll of 83s and open a different roll instead of the second roll that we have here. Wild Bill gets the last coin in this roll. Because I'm afraid, because this other roll has the exact same kind of paper. Oh, look at that. There's a second example of that. I don't know what it is exactly, but there's another one. And we don't have, or we do have the hollow in the rim down from the 3 there. Not sure exactly what that is. I think it's a struck through, but you don't usually see struck throughs that are identical in 2 different coins. So what I'd like to do is get a different 1983 roll and go through a different 1983 roll instead of the one that we've got sitting here. Because the one that we've got sitting here could possibly have been together with the other rolls since the day they were made. Yep, definitely a die issue. You got 2 of them. I don't know what it is, but it's a different from a struck through, in that a struck through is typically going, it could be damage to the die from a struck through that was never polished out. So the die was damaged striking through a bristle. Then that problem came and went, left. And what we end up with is a die striking coins that's been damaged by a bristle. That would repeat from coin to coin because it's on the die. Okay, so here we've got choices, and I think the choice I'd like to make, with collective permission of the majority of the house, I got 50 more names in my bag here, and I've got a roll right here. That's exactly the same as the roll that we just went through by date and mint, I would say. It doesn't appear to be spotty on the ends, but neither did the other roll. So I can open this roll now and go through this roll now, or I can reschedule a show for tomorrow and go through a different 1983 roll as the second half of this show. What would we like to do collectively as a group? We want to go through this other roll of the same date and mint, or do we want to go through a different 1983 roll, which I will find in my stash of rolls for tomorrow? As soon as I can hear from a few people, I'll make a decision. I'm waiting for you. My party, you're finding the way a different roll tomorrow. Keep going. So we have an abstention. We have an abstention. We have a do it today and a do it tomorrow. That helps a lot. I've got 3 votes going 3 ways. Paul wants to shove off his rolls. Cuds R Us says he's in for the long haul. Never did like throwing dice, but betting on $20 on a hard 8. Cindelicious says, it's not my pony. You need more coins to watch. Well, Ken doesn't have a dog in this fight. Joe says keep going. Okay. So we'll do the second roll now. I just wanted to get it from a majority of the house as to what we want to do and how we want to handle this. I'm going to shift myself in the chair and get a little more comfortable. Take a sip of coffee. Yeah, when I drink coffee, I drink it by the tumbler. New Marshall says tomorrow. Penny Parent says now is fine. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and do it now. These will likely be the same dies, but we could end up with more of the clashed coins. And we could also end up with another few of those odd die damage struck through looking weirdo coins that are so kind of cool. We can't really define what they are, but we can say that they look neat. So there's one end of the roll. Come on. And we got the other end coming out now. And roll over the coins. We've got spots. This roll is not well kept. I'm going to take a quick look at some of the coins and make a determination from what I see. Okay, a decent share of the roll looks okay, but there are some really bad coins in this roll. So, like that. I mean, I would like to not be the person who draws that coin. I don't see any evidence of anything that tells me I really want to go forward with this particular roll. I'd rather dump this in the junk bin and not sell it. See what I'm talking about? Yeah, it is what it is. I get that. But at the same time, I don't want you guys to end up with really poor quality stuff. Yeah, I mean, I paid for this roll. That's not the point. I think it's probably better if I go down and pick another 83 roll and we go back through it tomorrow afternoon. I think that would probably be a better decision on my part. Because these, I don't know. If I go, I mean, I'll go through these. I'll go through them and we'll just look, okay? Because I really don't have any interest in selling these to you guys. This is just isn't quality. Not my way of doing things. So we'll take a quick peek at these and see what's in here, but I'm not going to draw any more names until I get a better roll up here. This is the roll end coin, which is why it's got a lot of spotting on the reverse. And if I do find anything really good, I'll do a raffle by pulling a holder from a bag where you've already gotten a coin. You'll get it as a freebie if I find anything really good in here. But what it's looking like is that we're going to end up with a roll that has some very nasty coins. There's one right there. Yeah, I don't sell stuff like this. Stuff like this goes to the bank. I mean, seriously, it's not worth selling. Ain't no money in that. Look at that. Ain't no money in that. You selling what? Not this. Hey, Benjamin. Yeah, we've run into a really icky roll, so we're just kind of looking at it. But I'm going to reschedule the second roll of the batch for tomorrow and open a completely different roll, because these coins I can't sell. Couldn't sleep with myself at night knowing that I sold these to people. Yeah, this is ick. But maybe if we find a clash or something, I can at least give it to somebody, you know? That's the way I'm looking at it. If I find a clash or somehow find a double die in this, we could just give it to somebody and see what happens. This coin's not real bad. Not real bad. It's not real good either. But, yeah. I'm just going to kind of poke through it real quick. There's a clash mark right there. Now, if you look really carefully, if you look toward the upper left of that bay above the planter, you will see the beard. The beard sticks out right there. The beard sticks out right there. And then you go up, and then you go to the mouth. And then you hit the planter at the bottom of that bay. But you have to imagine Lincoln's face upside down, though. It's upside down, and he's facing toward... Why am I done? Everything's backwards. He's facing that way, toward the top right. And so you can see his beard, and then up above that, or below that actually, is his mouth. Then up here would be his forehead. If you could see it through there, that would be his forehead. You can see just a little tiny bit of it. But that's a clash. Here's part of it, the back of his jacket. So let's see if I can see a clash on this. No, there's no clash on the obverse. Just the reverse. Let's see what we have here. Nether coin. This one's a little spotty, but it's really not in bad shape. This one looks like it could be... Is this one of the swirlies? Or is this the stick from the L? No, neither one. Huh. It looks like it could have been a minor class 6 double die obverse. What is that? Oh, that's a blister. That's a plating blister. Is that a hole in the coin or what? No, it's actually a little blister. It sticks up. Yeah, those convex tees really kind of get me. I don't know. It could be something that I'm just not noticing is on most 1983s, or it could be something. What am I seeing here? This is interesting. Does anybody else see what I see? I'm thinking I might see notching here. Might be seeing notching. I need to take a quick look with my loop to see what I'm looking at here. Okay, there's an artifact of lighting. That does happen. That's not actually notches. It just looks like it. Yeah, look like it. Looks like we made it. I don't know where that's all coming from today. That's Barry Manilow. All right. Nothing going on there. But that isn't a bad coin. It's a little spotty on the obverse. Reverse looks pretty good. What's about this one? Those convex tees are looking to be just a little too common for my liking. They're looking like we may be looking at a normal design issue. This right here, see that right along the rim from just above the L down almost to the coat? That's a rim cud. See how long that is? That's actually busted out pieces of the edge of the die. Do we want to raffle this one? We can raffle this one. I can do that. Let me get a different bag because I've got the names for the other roll in this bag already and I don't want to take them out. And, well, I've got bags. Hang on just a second. Let me go grab a bag. You do pennies long enough, and you end up with hundreds of canvas bags. I got plenty of them. Okay, so this little rim cud right here, I'm going to take from all of the names that I have already drawn. I'm going to pull a coin. I'm going to stick it in there with your other coin. Okay, so I've got this bag, and it's got all the coins that I've already done of the other roll, all 50 of them. And to their coin, who is this? Hawkeye. I'm going to add this little rim cud right here. That's a cute little thing. Let's see what's on the other side. Nothing of specific note. So we have this little rim cud that we're going to toss in here in Hawkeye's pouch. Here we go. And for now, I'm going to leave the other ones in there, just in case we find something else we want to do a little raffle on. Let's see. A lot of the same die markers I'm seeing, so this is probably the same dies as the other roll. Coins tend to get a little bit cleaner as you get to the inside of the roll because the moisture doesn't get to them as much as the coins toward the outside of the roll. So that's why we're seeing what looks more like normal. Hey, this isn't so bad. Then you run into a coin that's just black and nasty. And that's part of the fallacy of running through these older zinc rolls, because you tend to run into coins that are just hideous. And you can have a hideous coin right in between two beautiful coins. It's almost like there's no real rhyme or reason to it. I was so hoping that we would have a wonderful day with double dies today. But, yeah, we can always hope. One of these days, hope turns into reality. For some of us, it just takes a little longer to get there. Clash? It was a little bit of a clash mark. It was an interesting little clash mark. Oh, why not? I'll draw a name and give this coin to somebody. We're talking about this little guy right here next to the date. There's that little boxy looking thing. That's part of a die clash. And it actually took away the entire front of the vest. Weird thing. So I'll draw a coin and I'll stick it with it. Rich H. Rich H, you get a second coin. And it's going to be a little clash. There we go. Second coin in there for Rich H. Alrighty. Let's see what we got next. Let's see what comes. This is almost as fun as doing a roll that you paid for. I like this. Just goes to prove to you, it's not about the money. It's about, I want to spread, I'm Santa Claus. I spread good cheer in scents with everyone. I am Santa's younger, thinner, and better groomed half-brother. To be thinner than Santa isn't saying much. You can still be a fat tub and be thinner than Santa. So don't think I'm for one moment in some hallucination that I'm Fabio or anything. Being thinner than Santa just means that you can actually stand up on your own. Thank you, Sindelicious. Let me be really clear on this. I don't do this for, I don't do this for accolades. I don't do it for attention. I don't do it to be everybody's white knight in satin or anything. I'm doing this just because it's what I do. I don't know. I like it. Yeah, and so what if I paid a little bit for this roll? That doesn't hurt me at all. You haven't heard Fabio in a while. That's you got an old man sitting here talking to you. Yeah, then you got people that are 10 years older than me wondering, well, if he's old, then what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I'm an old soul. I was talking with my mother yesterday about the 1973 Christmas parade. Yeah, I remember it. Of course, I'm one of those people that basically remembers everything. It was a cold day that day. Cloudy, but it didn't snow. Not until the next morning. So I'm not seeing any of those clashes in here. I do see what looks like a little bit of extra thickness going on in United here. And that's what concerned me. And I started looking at it really carefully, and I thought I saw clash. I thought I saw like little notches at the corners of the letters, but I'm just not. They're just not really there. I thought they were, but that's one of those things when you're using a microscope that you don't use when you're doing your normal roll searching so that other people can see what you're doing. You end up with optics that don't quite match what you're used to looking at. Not saying there's anything wrong with these optics. It's just not what I look at all the time. And given that, I'm seeing artifacts of lighting that are a little bit different from what I'm used to seeing when I'm going through a roll. Okay, camera. Thank you. Okay, Google. Find me a double die. Dun dun. Searching. Oi, oi. The one I'm using right now, this is the Dunolite Edge. It's Dunolite Edge digital microscope. I got this particular one from Dunolite to take a look at it and to tell them what I thought of it and to show it to other people. So I decided to start using it on my shows. And it's a nice scope. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a little expensive for what it is. But it does come with really nice software that allows you to turn on and off any one of 4 different lights on the inside of the scope itself. It does take pretty good pictures. You can take pictures directly from the software. It has, I believe, has software for a phone as well, an app for a phone that you can use it using a phone. But it's a digital USB microscope. It has 2 different focal lengths, which is different from a lot of other microscopes, digital ones anyway, in that your 2 different focal lengths means that you can focus at this distance and you can focus at this distance. A lot of them don't have that. So it's a good scope. I like it. I think the retail price on this is around $600 though. That's the problem. Where you got Walmart and other places selling scopes that don't come near this one in quality, but they do actually do basically the same thing, but they're selling them for 1/10 of the price. And it's where a lot of people are just going to go that direction. Hey, look at this. A nice little die crack starting below the bust and going all the way up through the vest area, through the lapel, into the vest. Oh, and it's a spiked head as well going through the E of we. So we've got a die crack on the top and bottom of this one that are not connected to one another, so they're not related. We got another die crack right here. This die was about to explode, people. A die crack, it runs from the rim down here below the VDB up through the vest shoulder up to just about the lapel collar. Then we've got this other one over here. And then we've got this one up here. So this thing is that thing's kind of interesting. Let's look at the reverse and see what's on the reverse. Oh, this is that die that had the basically a die break going on. The die was actually failing down there underneath the lower bust. You're very welcome, Time Traveler Coin Exchange. We'll see you next time. I'm going to go ahead and raffle this one as well, because I just think it's kind of cool. Let's see. Joe McBride. Joe McBride gets this one. So let me stick it in there with his other coin, number 24. I just had a light go out somewhere. Maybe in my head. I'm not sure. Let's see. What we got next? Oh, that's an interesting little thing. This happens when... I'm not really exactly sure what causes this. This is a little cud. That's what it is. It's a rim cud. You got that milky, zinky looking stuff around the outside edge of the coin. Oh, hey, look, he's got a lightning bolt on his head. Huh. That's interesting. This is the Harry Potter coin. This is the rare Harry Potter variety. Let's see, let me look at this side. See what we got going on over here. I do have another roll reveal coming up. I don't want to overrun my time playing around. Gosh, this stupid scope loves to shut itself off and turn itself back on. Who was having a deep thought? Was that me? The Harry Potter coin. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Okay, folks, we have to be serious. We can't have fun with this. Hey, look there. We got another one of those die issues. This is definitely going to be a raffle coin. So let me drag another name out of the box. Paul Hampton. Mr. Hampton gets this one. Answer to your question, James, is yes. If you bought something from me, you can sell it saying that you bought it from me, because I have no shame over what I sell. Is this I think this is one of the ones that has the... I thought this was one of the ones that had the die cut on the, or the rim cut, but I don't see it on this coin. Let's take a look at the other side and see what we've got on the other side over here. Not much. I think I'm ordering a pizza for dinner. Today seems like a pizza day. We got a greaser. A little bit of grease going on down here and over here. All that modeling stuff that you see in the field there, that's all grit, grime, and grease and whatnot. It may get better as we go around. There's some more of it. And more of it. That's what all that is. It's grit, grime, grease, whatever you want to call it. It's all stuck up inside the die. Sticks to the die and strikes to the coin. Okay. Oh, we're halfway through this roll. Oh, that could be interesting. Of course, it didn't have black spots all over it. It'd be nicer. Has this got the swirls? It does have some swirls. It may not be the same ones. I think this is one of those possible Class 6 double die obverses, but damn, this coin is infectious. It's so nasty. Yeah, out the window it goes. It's not worth anything. Let's see. Next one here. So I'm looking also in like the arc underneath in God. There are other coins in 1983 that actually show the lettering in God down there, and those are valuable. There's also a counterclash that shows an LIB right here in the field out in front of the chin. Those are also valuable. There's a number of different cuds that show underneath the vest and in the motto. And there's also a rather large cut on the reverse of some of these. 1983 is actually one of the more common years for finding those major die issues like that. In part, it's because of the changeover from the copper planchets to the zinc planchets in 1982. But also in part, I think it could also be because they were minting more coins than they had in the past. They were considering getting rid of the Lincoln cent anyway, because that came up in Congress, that they were trying to get rid of it. And over a period of time, I just think they quit caring what they were doing when they were making pennies. And so our pennies were a different composition. They were harder to strike. The planchets were harder to create cleanly. The dies were harder to keep track of. An In God We Rust quarter, so it was missing the T. That's cool. I hope he thought it was really cool. Yeah, I'm going to go with a knot on this at this point. I'm seeing so many of these. It's telling me that it's not a double die just because I'm seeing so many of them. So I'll have to go back and look real carefully at those others that I said I found in the last roll. They may or may not have been anything. Just getting my eyeballs used to looking at the design, because if you turn right around from this and you search a roll from 2004, or if you turn right around from this and you search a roll from 1972, you're going to have to rethink yourself, because the design's completely different. I mean, the design, it's of Lincoln. It's got all the words in the same place and everything. But if you look at it closely, you'll notice that the design, thus the minor features that make up your double dies, repunchment marks, and other things, are going to be different when you look at coins from different eras, from different years with different designs. And that can definitely affect what you're seeing. Excuse me, which is a really important reason why I tell people always a good idea to sort your coins by date first before you look through them. That way, when you look through them, it's almost like you're turning your bank box back into OBW rolls, because you're going back to the same date and mint mark for everything. Make it easier for you to find any anomalies or any oddities. Goods and services invoices, I believe, are 3 or 3.5%. I think that's about right. It's about the same thing that a credit card charge would be. So basically, it's kind of like taking credit cards on a merchant account for any amount. But yeah, I just see it as part of the fees of doing business. Oh yeah, look at that. That's nuts how curved that outside edge of the T is. It just doesn't show up it doesn't show up as Class 6 doubling because there's no extra thickness. I just got all that pulling. So that could just be part of die wear for some way, some reason, somehow. I'm not sure what a super chat charges. I really don't know, to tell you the truth. I've never received funding from PayPal because I'm sorry, funding from YouTube, because YouTube waits until you have $100 acquired in your account before it does the a payment. That's what I'm understanding. I've never been paid because my revenue so far has not hit $100. So I don't know if they charge you. Ken could answer that if he's still here. Is it 30%? I didn't realize they charged that much for Super Chats. No wonder they want you to do it. If you want to transfer money online to someone and you're not buying anything from them, there's no harm in using the friends and family feature at PayPal. It doesn't charge the sender or the receiver. But they make it so that you can use it to pass funding to your brothers, cousins, and friends, and they're not using it so that you can buy stuff. Man, there's a rim cut almost all the way around this. That's weird. Yeah, rim cut everywhere on this coin. That's interesting. You sure that they actually charge 30% for Super Chat? 30% is rather atrocious. That's almost as bad as the credit card companies have gotten about charging you APY or APR on your credit cards. Oh, we're at a low 18%. Like, that's not low, folks. 18%'s not low. See, this is, I think this is one with the swirlies. Oh, excuse me. I was just not showing this with the same oomph that I was looking at the initial batch of these, so it just doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't pan out to look too much like a double die to me anymore. I thought it was at first. It charges you to send friends and family? It shouldn't. Which one? The one with the rim cut going all the way around? So that would be the previous coin to the one I'm looking at now? Is that what you want? I'm talking to Penny Parent there. I can certainly pull a name for that one, because it's otherwise just going to go in my to the bank bin. See this? What did we see on the other side of this one last time? Wasn't that the... Okay, now I'm a little bit rather confused. Hang on, let me check something out here. Okay, this coin, this is interesting. This is one of those things. This coin belongs to Paul Hampton. And we're going to take a look at it next to this coin. Here's Paul Hampton's. This has got that thing above the date that we've been finding on a number of different coins. Let's see if we can find a different die marker on here anywhere. I'm not seeing much other than gas bubbles, and that's a planchet thing, not a die thing. Okay, but anyhow, okay, so we've got this thing going on here, and we look over here, and this coin in that area appears to be normal. Oh, wait a minute. Now I know what it was. Now I remember what it was. Okay, this one's not going to have... Okay, let me teach myself here. Okay, this is the one with that. Nothing on the reverse. Okay, I get it. Now I've got it straight. What I just found is another example of that die that has die cracks everywhere. That's right. Okay, so this one, we'll pull a name for this one because this has got the die cracks there. It's got the die crack up here. It's got the die crack up here. And that's the one that's got the near busted lower base right there. So I'll pull one for this. I'll put this with somebody's. Let's see what we got here. Goods and services get charged. Friends and family does not. Okay, so what I've pulled is Bulldog. Bulldog's going to get this coin. Now, the one that Penny Parent wanted me to give away was the one prior to this one. That would be this coin right here. It's the one that has... Nope, it's not this coin. Well, let's see. It may have been 2 coins ago. Yeah, this one. Is this the one you were talking about, Penny Parent? The one that has rim cuds all the way around? Little rim cuds, little rim cuds. They start over here near the date. And they go up here and around all the way through to the I of, or actually to the G of God. Okay, so I'll pull another one. I'll give this coin away to somebody too. Yeah, it is. Exactly. Okay, so this one is going to go to Dana. I pulled Dana's name for this one. So if you get these coins and you got 2 of them in your holder like this, that means I've given you one of these special coins. Don't ask me what it was because I'm not going to remember. Just look at it yourself and figure it out. Uh-oh. Mama's got to come show me something about my dog. The dog's making her laugh. Oh, he's really making her laugh. She's cackling now. Uncontrollable cackling. The problem with that is when she starts cackling like that, she gets a headache. Who knows what he's doing? But she's in there laughing at him because he's doing something funny. Gosh, this coin is ugly. I'm glad I'm not selling this roll. Because it's hideous. Yeah, that's not worth much anything. What we have here? What we have here is a failure to communicate. Not very many people know what that came out of. See how many people know that movie reference. If there's actually anyone still in here who knows the older movies. What we have here is a failure to communicate. That's right, Todd. Absolutely right. One of my favorite movies of all times, ever and ever. Cool Hand Luke. Still shaking the bush over here, boss. Still shaking the bush over here. Nope. Not Oh Brother Where Art Thou. Very similar in plot, though. About fugitives from the law, running from the dogs through the woods. I think the time setting was about the same too. Both of them in the 30s or 40s. Hey Everett, did you care for from Gopher? Nope, Delmar. A third of a gopher would only serve to rouse my appetite without bedding her back down. You go ahead. It's okay, Everett. You can have it. I found a whole gopher village. He's bona fide. He's a suitor. He's the paterfamilias. And I'm bona fide. There's a clash mark right there. But it's not one of the nice obverse clashes, or I give it away. This is another one of those where the dye polishing has actually almost all the way polished out the Y in Liberty. It's because of that heavy dye clash mark. Wish they just left it alone. Just keep minting coins with it. Nobody cares. Just keep minting coins with it. Just keep going. Meanwhile, you're marking all the bags so you can buy them as soon as they get out to the bank. Ooh, I need that bag. I think that's what happened with the 1958 double dies. Is that somebody knew they were being made. Somebody knew that die was being hung. So they minted a few of them, got out into a bag that was marked, and then somebody ended up buying that bag on the other side that they knew because the bag was marked. Folks, I'm seeing double die here. I've got to switch over to the other. I'm sorry, I've got to go over to the other scope and take a better, quicker, closer look at this, because I'm seeing double die on the reverse of this coin, and I can't see it this way, so I've got to go over to my other scope and take a better look at it, and hopefully I'll see something that's promising, because if it is, then it's probably going to be DDR number 2. Let me take a look. No, it's not anything. That's weird. I certainly thought I saw double die, but I didn't. That's strange. I don't want fop. I'm a Dapper Dan man. Well, he's just a geographical oddity about 2 weeks from everywhere. Yeah, James, here's what's going on. I've gone through the first roll. The first roll was okay. It wasn't in the best condition, and there were no die varieties of mark in it. There were a couple of die clashes and other little things, but this roll, I'm not pulling any names. I just opened it. I saw that there were so many really bad coins in it, like this one right here, that this coin is not for sale. This roll is not for sale. These are going to the bank. And so I'm going to pick a different roll and reschedule a new reveal so that we can go through tomorrow a better roll. And that will be the second half of this 2-coin roll reveal. Because I don't want people to be upset. I don't want people to be let down. I don't want to be the subject of anyone's disappointment. Let's put it that way. So we're looking for stuff in this roll, and if I find any decent stuff, I'm just giving it away. So if I find anything cool, I just pull a coin from the bag, which are the coins from the first roll that I've already been through, and I just toss the coin in the flip with the other coin that they already got, and they get 2 coins. But I'm not finding a whole lot that's even really cool. I'm probably going to be getting more 1983 rolls before long. I just don't know exactly how long it's going to take me to get them. December is really a bad time to try going out and buying coins, because people are getting ready to go on family vacations and whatnot and everything else, and they're just not very receptive to communication about purchases. Okay, I want to raffle this one too, because this is another one of those with all the really nice die cracks on the obverse. Coin number 46, Andrew O'Neill. Mr. O'Neill will get this one. As a, hey, how you doing? All right. Next. This is actually a somewhat better looking coin than a lot of the other ones in this roll. It's nice and bright and relatively spot free. Just nothing there, really. Probably about 90% of the 1983 rolls that you look through aren't going to have anything in them, but the other 10% will. And that 10% that does is going to make the other 90% worth it. I still have yet to this very day to find a 1983 double die reverse. I have owned half a dozen of them, but I bought every one of them. I own one right now. PCGS MS65 Red. But I haven't found one. I would like for that to have been the case, because I'd like to say I've actually found one. What actually really kind of got me started in hunting die varieties was, in part, the 1983 double die reverse and the 1984 double deer. And to this very day, I have not found either one of those. I've owned them, but I've not found them. Buying and selling them on the market is one thing. Finding them in a roll is a whole different level. Everybody here understands that. When you find something really good in a roll, it's like, hey, I'm not selling this. It's only worth $5, but I'm not selling it because I found it. I get that. I completely understand that. It's the way a lot of people are about their finds. And then Mama wants to know, well, wait a minute, if you're doing this and you're finding valuable coins, but none of them are for sale, then what are you doing it for? Well, it's pretty simple. Find them, mark them, collect them, put them in a binder. Have all you can possibly have. All the toys you can have that you can leave behind to someone when you're gone. And then they become very appreciative because they now have them. Or they turn around and sell them and get some money for them. Either way, it doesn't matter to you. You're going to be 6 feet under. All right, folks, that's it for that roll. We're done with that little guy. Found one in a circle in Pennsylvania. Believe it to be a coin from the Great American Coin Hunt. It's a AU 83 DDR. Nice. Really nice. You found a 83 double die reverse doing coin roll hunting levels. You found a 82 double die reverse #1 doing coin roll hunting. Dude, I need some of your rolls. we need to swap. Yes, the 59D is still on. That's, what is it, 6:20 now. So about 2 hours and 40 minutes from now. And then I'll get another 1983 scheduled. Found two 94 double die reverses. Now, were those the ones that show on the outside lettering, or were those the ones that show in the last bay, show an extra column in the last bay? Because there is a double die reverse that actually shows in the lettering, so it shows notching in the lettering. It's either a 92 or a 94. Right now, I can't remember which one. It was one that Billy Crawford found a number of years ago. I was actually given the opportunity to examine that coin in person. It was pretty nice. Yeah, the 88 DDO is like stupid rare. You know that, right? Of course, then again, I'm sure you do. All right, let me take these other coins back out of here. A 59D. Well, I don't know if you know this, but we're about to open a couple of 59D rolls this evening. I don't know if you know, but here they are right here. Bank wrapped rolls. There's two of them. There's a Bank of America, Bank of America. Got two Bank of America rolls from 1959 Denver that we're going to be opening this evening. My coordination when it comes to looking at a reflective camera is horrible. Horrible and deplorable. I'm excited for the 59D roll too. You know why? Because it's about time we actually found something valuable out of one of these rolls today. I'm having a horrible day with rolls. Ouch. Die chip at the base of the 1? Is that 1? Yeah. Die chip at the base of the 1. What die chip would I be looking for at the base of the 1? And what does that indicate? Found 15 of them from a roll. Is that, but is that what it is? Oh, it has that mark at the base of the 1. Okay. Heck, I'd be watching for the RPM first, then the base of the 1, correct? Because a die chip at the base of the 1 doesn't mean you have the RPM. The RPM with the die chip means that you have it. Yeah, exactly. Oh, don't want to forget to give Fletcher his coin. 1944 doubled die. Obverse. In BU condition. What else do I have here? I've got some other pretties. Where did I get these coins? Where the heck did all this come from? It's a nice 1948D. Pretty nice coin. It's got a little fingerprint on the back. But the obverse is really kind of cool looking. I don't know. Yeah, I only got 2 hours to the next reveal. Joe McBride. I just pulled a name out of the hat. Joe McBride. All right. I'll write Joe McBride's name on this 1948D and I'll send it to him. Okay, I'm finished giving stuff away for right now. The 1960D small date buy worth much in BU. Couple of dollars. I mean, they don't generally go for very much money. Yeah, you want to see it? I'll show it to you. Get this. There we go. Get it in focus. Get it in focus. Get yourself together, Chuck. But this is the 1948D that I've pulled out to give to Joe McBride. It's because I just pulled his name. This one appears that it could be a minor class 6 double die obverse as well. That might be why I have it here. Doesn't show anything that I can see on the obverse. It does have a little bit of a fingerprint issue, but still, price right. Price to sell, $0, 0 cents. Yeah, $35 is like kind of crazy because I've seen rolls worth of them. I know they're not that. I know they're not that scarce. What head tilt? What did I do? Head tilt. Like this? Try to crack my neck. Yeah, CMUS, don't buy something like that. That's come to us and ask us questions if you have any, because we'll help you. We're not here to rip you off or yank your money out of your pocket or anything. We're here to help you out. Yeah, you can let the buyers decide, but there's only certain buyers that, like, if you go to eBay, you're going to find people bidding on stuff just to be bidding on stuff. And it's like, oh, well, I came here looking for a wooden holder for my umbrellas, but I couldn't find any, so I'll bid on this penny over here. And so it's really kind of hard to judge value on coins on eBay because you have so many. I'm gonna say highly inexperienced collectors doing basically what amounts to illegitimate bidding. Oh, you're looking to sell 2 of them? I guess you can play the seller in this case and go to eBay and stick them on eBay and see what happens. Generally at a coin show or something like that, if you put them out on a table at a coin show, they'll sell for a couple of dollars. And you're right, I do need to go play with Shermie for a while and get ready for my next roll reveal, which comes up in 2.5 hours. Well, I understand, CMUS. I get it completely. Which is why I would like for you guys to come knocking on my window anytime you need an answer to something, because I hope that we can develop the kind of relationship, everyone here, I hope we can develop the kind of relationship where you can trust that I'm going to give you the right answer for pretty much anything you want. And if I don't know the right answer, I'm not going to BS it out of you. I'm just going to tell you, hey, look, I don't really know, but I'll see if I can find out from somebody I trust. And I'll get you a good answer. Or I'll point you to the right place or send you the right book or whatever it takes. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and take off. I'm going to go down and eat dinner. And I will be back up at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Is that when it is? 9 p.m. Eastern Time? I'll be up whenever the stream says it's supposed to start because I will have it up and ready to go. So I'll talk to you guys later when we open these 1959 D rolls. See you later.